we are still here on 94.7 FM with Mr. Nance and Mr. Futrell. We are talking about black men in America. So I know we've talked about some of the difficulties of being that man in America with the stigmas. I read a statistic where many people kind of view the black families as having the man, missing, in the homes and all that. And the statistics actually show that black men are very involved in their children's lives. But I would think that they are probably sometimes missing in the homes. My children grew up, without a father. So how can we fix this this male role thing in the black communities? We need more male role models in our black communities. And do you think it's even your responsibility? Because I was talking to my dad about this earlier. Like, if you are, with your children and you see your neighbor, she's, has a son, and do you even have a responsibility in that regard to kind of step in and try to be some type of role model to a young man that you see that's, struggling without a father?
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, role models are necessary in this era. I know I had role models, and I know he's probably had role models in his era of coming up. But without role models, the key word in role model is model. It's like a model is a shaping of something. So what are we shaping? We're shaping black boys into becoming upstanding citizens who understand not only just how to make money, because most young black boys, all they think, well, I don't say all they think about, but a lot of them think about how to make money, how I'm going to be living, what I want, what does it take to be considered accepted in this world and still be able to live. And I think it's important to have positive role models that even if they don't have such a grim background, but they still need to have an understanding about experiences that a lot of us go through in order to even know how to shape us. How do you mold something if you've never been around the texture or the environment or the diaspora of what are you trying to mold? You get what I'm saying? What elements would you use? How do you know what that substance feel or look like if you're talking about shaping something?
So can a woman
most definitely
raise a young man to become a boy to become a young man?
A woman can raise a young boy to becoming a man to an extent. A mother, grandmother, aunt, or whoever that guardian figure is, her love is unconditional, true enough, but she's operating off of the same thing he's operating off of, and they're operating off of the lack thereof, the lack of that positive role model, the lack of the masculinity, the lack of that muscle, the lack of hustle, the lack of so to say that breadwinner instinct. And when you have a male when you have a male active and not just the essence of a male, like I got a daddy with he locked up, or it's just like an essence or the notion of there's no action in it. So but when you have an active role model or active person that's a male figure associated with a female figure, and then the same household, I think the household that they provide together in that shaping of that young boy would it would intensify the effect of the outcome of what that child could possibly be. But the flip side of it is the lack thereof also creates a strengthening mechanism You're not gonna you're not gonna let your son be without because dad is not around.
That's right.
You're not gonna you're not gonna try less. You're gonna try harder. Matter of fact, you trying 2 times harder or 3
That's
times.
exactly right.
It depends on, since we're talking about African American males. If you have that one son or those 2 sons, you gotta go out there 2 times or 3 times as hard because your son, he's already developing on his own, and he's having to gravitate towards the environment. He has to gravitate towards what he see and don't see. What he sees dictates whether or not he's going to gravitate towards that, or he learns that that's not what I want. That's not how to live. Or I saw the consequences to that. But as a black boy, when you have limited resources and it's just your mom or your aunt or your grandmama, you get curious. You know, you go out there and try to find ways to help mom, grandmama. You try to take some of the pressure. If you're not trying to help them, like verbatimly help them, like help them.
Yeah.
You're trying to help. If you're not doing that, you're trying to help yourself, so they won't have to keep the focus on you. You know, most young boys nowadays, they try to keep up with the trends, but it's easier for them to go out and to commit small crimes that keep them going steadily than to constantly ask grandma to buy them a pair of Jordans, to constantly ask grandma to buy uniforms, to buy, hygiene stuff, and so on and so forth. Because with this new generation, they don't want to wait.
Yeah.
They don't.
Instantaneous.
Right. They don't have time to wait. So they're going to go about it the best way they can, and it also coincides with mom's need or the female counterpart who's taking care of them or who has that involvement in their life. They're gonna base everything off how the house is ran, and if she's falling behind, he's falling behind. He's gonna do something. And the flip side of it is, it also leads to negative identifiers that point to other behaviors that can saturate that young boy's life. For instance, a child can become faithless based on that father figure is not there. They'll lose faith. They become atheistic. They believe in things that
because if there were a God, I would not.
Right. They fall apart.
Yeah.
The other thing, when dad is not around, you got daddies out here. You got gang leaders. You got leaders of the Vice Lords, Crips, Bloods. Then you got all these hybrid gangs. So they're gonna absorb that energy, those talents that you have, that your dad ain't there to throw the baseball with you or to go to that basketball game with you. But guess what? The blood gang will show up at the basketball game with them. The blood gang will protect them on the way home, on the way to school, at school, and so on and so forth. So when you build that type of camaraderie with somebody that's seeming to be negative, but they provide a certain type of love that you didn't have in your household, you're going to gravitate towards it.
Yeah.
And my third point is homosexuality. Between not having that father figure and having an open mind to the world without a father, and the mother is what I have to operate from, that child is going to do one or two things. Either he's going to man up, or he's going to gravitate towards a lot of he's either going to rebel against how his mom is and become feminine in a way, where he's soft-spoken and don't have that masculinity and the sternness that's necessary for a man. Not saying you have to be macho, but you have to be stern, firm, and you have to be tough. You have to be tight about, putting one foot in front of the other. And when you don't have a consistency in an identity and somebody pouring into you, and they know you have these certain qualities, some people get lost.
Yeah.
And when they get lost, and that's who they become. And we, as men and grown-ups, men or women, and just the world, we have to accept them how they are, because that was their way That's how they found their way out into finding an identity because my dad was in the household.
Yeah.
For instance, I got 2 gay brothers. I got 5 siblings.
Mm-hmm.
But my dad wasn't in their life the way he was in my life. Not saying he wasn't in their life, but he wasn't living inside of the household with them. You know, he still provided school clothes, money, cash, pay bills, pay tuition. That don't mean he didn't love them. You know, he still tried to reach out and communicate. But I mean, who would have known out of all this time, this what came out of it? And they were good kids. They had resources. So you just never know. It's just the absence of having a steady father figure. It plays a major role.
Yeah, I concur with that whole thing. I think the main thing is when the father's not there, an automatic imbalance is created. Automatic. I don't think that a strong mother can raise a son, and there's still something missing. A strong mother can provide, go to the games, and there's still something missing because the element that his father would bring to the table is simply missing.
There's a need
There
that
is.
that boy has that the mom just cannot.
So many
provide.
of our sons are so emotional because they're raised by women. My guys tell me all the time, Doc, you ain't got no feelings, do you? I do. I'm just in control of my emotions. I'm just not an overly emotional person
Yeah.
because I grew up around a lot of men who were not emotional. And I took that on because that was a natural balance for me.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with having, guys, you don't have no feelings. You're human, aren't you? You're supposed to have feelings. You just have to be in control of your emotions. And so many of our sons that I deal with in high schools and middle school, they're just emotional. You say something to them, they snap off because they're not accustomed. That's a female type quality,
Yeah.
you know, and just to react emotionally.
Well, to them, it's a female-like quality. But as adults, we learn that it's a tool.
So
But when you growing up, you're not trying to share anything that the worst thing in the world done happened to you, and you got to share it with mom. You're not. You're going to act out on it. You're going to go out. You're going to share it with the OG in the neighborhood. You're going to share it with Willie Wino on the corner. You're going to share it with, the drug dealers because you feel like they going through some of the similar stuff, and they take you in.
And that piece, when we're talking about the entire community, the African proverbial saying says it takes a village. Well, actually, it says it takes a healthy village to raise healthy children because a sick village is going to raise sick children. So we have to use, I had Northside for 6 years. It was my school. I did gang prevention. I had no gang fights for 5 years on the campus. Nothing. Because I went to the community and said, hey, fellas, OGs, whoever, hey y'all, I need y'all to help me make school safe. Everybody at the school is not a gang member. What you want us to do? I want you to help me clear the campus. Make sure you holler at your people about not writing on the wall. This is our school, ownership. So we didn't have any gang-related, gang members graduating from high school, going on to college and doing other things. But I used a culture that would appear negative to help me because the cure is in the poison. It's like snake bite holds the antidote. You can't get the antidote without going in the venom. You got to go in the venom and get the antidote.
Right.
You got to be willing to do that. So it takes the winos, the OG. Everybody has a piece to play. It's a gumbo. So you need all these ingredients to make the gumbo. Yeah. So, and you have to be willing and open to use them. You can't do, well, he's got a felony, you can't help. You can't help. I tell the guys, come to the library on Monday morning, I get donuts, coffee. I mean, these guys from the street. What do you want us to do? Just sit right here, I'll be right back. Talk to him. Tell him how you got to be 45 living in a trap house and ain't got no high school diploma. What would you wish you had have done? Man, I sure wish I had graduated from Northside. So I'm looking at the youngster, where you going back to class? I thought so. So in that moment of righteousness, he's able to help. And he felt better about himself. You want to teach girls about chastity? Go get a prostitute, sit her down with her. And in love, talk to her. This is what I used to do. Tell her talk to her. Before you know it, everybody's crying.
Okay. So
it takes everyone to bring that element to young men. A mother can do it, but she still needs help.